We know our job will not be easy. We know the task. We've got a close majority. We're going to have to work together. And we want to work with anyone that wants to make America stronger. We want to work with anybody on both sides of the aisle if they want to make America energy independent, give their parents a say in their kids' education, or secure our borders, or stop defunding the police. We know there's challenges in this nation around the world. We're listening to the American public, but we are prepared to lead, regardless of the size of the majority. One thing I've always learned, they don't hand gavels out in small, medium, and large. You get the right size gavel, and we will use it. With that, let's open it up for questions.
Mr. Leader, do you think you will have the votes by January to become Speaker?
Yes, if you look at the last two speakers, Paul Ryan, he had at this time had 43, lost 43 votes. Nancy Pelosi had 32 votes, and no one was running against her at that time. Look, we have our work cut out for us. We've got to have a small majority. We've got to listen to everybody in our conference. And if you've watched what we have done, I thought it was very productive last night in our rules debate. And what I've proposed to do is handle half of the rules tomorrow, keep those open through Thanksgiving, and we'll work together and we'll get there. The American people expect us to do it. They expect us to govern. They expect us to keep our word on the commitment to America. And one thing I'll say about the entire conference, I respect each and every one, but I respect them equally, and we'll find a way to make it happen.
The Freedom Caucus has made a lot of demands, including to give themselves more power, more leverage over you, including to vacate the chair, giving them more power to vacate the chair. Are you open to that proposal from the Freedom Caucus?
One thing I think, when the conference is this tight, I think we all work together. At the same time, nobody's going to have more power than anybody else. A majority like this, 4 people could decide the future, whatever it goes. So either we're going to lead as a team or we're going to lose as individuals. And I think at the end of the day, we will lead as a team.
McCarthy, okay, first of all, as far as the vacating the chair, that's one thing. But what about all those other demands in that letter? Why haven't you responded to it? And why is it that you essentially blew off that entire letter completely? Will you respond to it?
Well, I don't agree with your comment there. They provided a letter in the different rules. The time we take up the rules now, I've met with them numerous times. We actually changed the process, where last night we just had a conference just to talk about amendments. Tomorrow we'll bring up half of them, talk about them, and I can't do anything by myself. It's the conference who decides what the conference rules are. And the interesting thing about the conference, everyone's going to have to give a little on both sides. But the number one thing I'm going to do as a leader is I'm going to listen to all voices in the conference, and we're going to do together what is best. The one thing you'll learn is, as my opportunity to be Speaker, is the House is going to change. No longer is all the power going to rest the way Nancy had it. No more proxy voting. Bills will actually go through committees. They will be debated before they come to the floor, and people will actually have a say. Why? Because you, the American public, have lent your voice to every single member, and you have a right for your voice to be heard, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
Leader McCarthy.
Yes, ma'am.
As we try to get to 218, do you want Democrats to try to support you?
No, we're the majority as Republicans, and we'll get there as
You wouldn't
Republicans. Yes.
There's been a lot of talk about what kind of leader you will be, and you're saying that we win together, we lose alone. But as a leader looking at this conference, it looks very fractured right now. How do you plan to bridge that gap to be a leader for all of them?
Looks like a majority to me. In 4 years, all we've done is win. It's been one-party rule in Washington. We now have inflation at a 41-year high. We got gas prices, and now we're going into winter heating prices that people, American public, can't afford. We got a border that's unsecure and a secretary who says it is. We got people defunding the police, and now we don't even know if we're safe on our own streets. People are afraid to ride the subway again. We got a Department of Justice that goes after parents simply because they go to a school board meeting. They call them terrorists. We got a government that hasn't been held accountable. Tell me one time they had a hearing on the origins of COVID. Tell me one time they had a hearing to know what went wrong in the last 60 days of Afghanistan that brought us 13 Gold Star families. Tell me one time they talked to the DOJ on why he went after parents. That all changes today because there's no longer one-party rule. The American public now has a voice. The American public now has a right to things that are going to be said, and that's why we're going to do together.
Your agenda, the commitment to America, will be able to bridge that gap between all of your members?
No, I know it will.